Imagine changing your life in just 1 week. It might sound too good to be true, but I promise these aren't just the typical tips you come across everywhere. These are real, practical, and deeply impactful habits that I personally adopted into my daily routine. The journey included struggles, breakthroughs, and moments of triumph. The transformation I experienced was remarkable, and I believe these habits have the potential to bring about significant change in your life as well. Whether you're aiming to improve productivity, enhance mental health, or make small but meaningful changes in your day-to-day life, these habits can help you get there. Waking up early. The first habit that reshaped my life was waking up early. I'll admit, I was far from being a morning person. My bed was my sanctuary, and the snooze button was my best friend. Mornings often felt rushed and chaotic, leaving me frazzled and unprepared to face the day. Deciding to take control, I started setting my alarm for 5 a.m. The initial days were challenging. I dragged myself out of bed, groggy and questioning why I was doing this. By the third day, however, I began to notice the unique magic of the early morning hours. The world is remarkably quiet and peaceful at dawn, offering a sense of stillness that can't be replicated later in the day. With the extra time, I introduced activities I'd always wanted to incorporate into my life, but never seemed to have time for. Light exercise became a part of my morning, a simple stretching routine or a short jog around the neighborhood. These gentle movements not only woke me up physically, but also left me feeling energized throughout the day. Another key component of my mornings became meditation. Spending a few moments in mindful stillness helped me set clear intentions for the day. This practice made a noticeable difference in my mindset, giving me focus and reducing the overwhelm that used to cloud my mornings. Beyond exercise and meditation, I found myself with enough time to enjoy a proper breakfast, sip coffee slowly, and map out my priorities for the day. One particular morning, I decided to watch the sunrise from my balcony. The colors shifting in the sky as the world gradually woke up around me filled me with a profound sense of peace and gratitude. It was in moments like this that I truly understood the value of waking up early, not just for productivity, but for creating intentional, meaningful starts to the day. Even if waking up at dawn feels daunting, starting just 15 minutes earlier can help ease you into the habit. Daily exercise. Daily exercise became the second transformative habit. I wasn't always someone who enjoyed physical activity. Like many, I often found excuses. I'm too tired, I don't have time, or I'll start tomorrow. Finally, I decided to put an end to the cycle and committed to moving my body every single day for 1 week. The results were far more profound than I had anticipated. I started small, dedicating just 20 minutes a day to exercise. To keep things interesting, I alternated between yoga, jogging, and strength training. The first few days were tough. My muscles ached, and I felt drained. But by day 4, I woke up feeling a newfound sense of energy. My mood shifted noticeably. I was less irritable, more positive, and felt more present in my daily interactions. Exercise became much more than a way to burn calories or build strength. It became an essential form of self-care. Each session gave me time to focus on myself, disconnect from the stresses of the day, and reconnect with my body. One morning, I went for a jog on a crisp, clear day. With each step, I felt an overwhelming sense of clarity and freedom. It was just me, the open road, and my thoughts, a moment that felt both empowering and liberating. I also tried yoga for the first time. Initially, I hesitated, thinking I wasn't flexible enough or that it wouldn't be physically challenging. However, the practice quickly became one of my favorites. Yoga taught me to breathe deeply, be present, and truly listen to my body. The benefits extended far beyond the physical, nurturing my mental well-being and fostering mindfulness. Incorporating daily exercise into my life helped me realize the profound connection between physical movement, mental clarity, and emotional balance. Even a simple activity like a brisk walk or dancing to your favorite music can create a noticeable shift in how you feel throughout the day. Starting small and staying consistent can lead to life-changing results. Journaling. The third habit that deeply impacted my life was journaling. I had always dismissed the idea, assuming it was only for people with a lot of free time or a natural inclination for introspection. Curiosity pushed me to give it a try, and what I discovered was a practice that quickly became one of the most rewarding parts of my day. Journaling gave me a dedicated space to explore my thoughts and feelings without judgment. It wasn't about crafting perfect sentences or writing a novel. It was about being honest and reflective. Some days, I wrote about my goals and aspirations. Other days, I used the space to vent frustrations or explore things I was grateful for. The simple act of writing helped me process emotions, identify patterns in my thoughts, and find clarity in moments of confusion. One evening, I sat down to write after a particularly tough day. As I poured my thoughts onto the page, I began to uncover solutions to challenges that had felt overwhelming just hours before. It felt as though I was having a productive dialogue with my subconscious. Beyond problem solving, journaling also became a tool for celebration. Documenting small victories and moments of joy helped me recognize progress that might have otherwise gone unnoticed. Journaling doesn't have to be an elaborate ritual. It can start as a simple 5-minute practice where you jot down whatever comes to mind. Whether you're listing things you're grateful for, reflecting on your day, or brainstorming ideas, the act of writing can create a sense of clarity and mindfulness that's difficult to achieve otherwise. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, disconnected, and constantly distracted. Small but intentional habits can create profound shifts in perspective and bring balance to our lives. Two such practices that changed my life are journaling and mindful eating. These habits allowed me to find clarity, connect with my emotions, and transform my relationship with myself and the food I eat. Through consistency and a genuine desire to grow, I discovered new levels of peace and self-awareness. Journaling. Amid the noise and busyness of life, finding time to reflect can seem impossible. For years, I underestimated the power of journaling. It wasn't until I committed to it for 1 week, just 10 minutes each night, that I realized its potential as a cornerstone of personal growth. I started with the basics: a plain notebook, a pen that felt comfortable in my hand, and no pressure to make it perfect. There were no fancy apps or aesthetic setups, just me and my thoughts. On the first night, I stared at the blank page, unsure where to begin. Eventually, I wrote about how my day went, what made me happy, and what I struggled with. It felt awkward at first, but I stayed committed. As the days went by, the process became more natural. I started exploring deeper topics: my fears, goals, dreams, and even insecurities. Writing down my thoughts felt like having an honest conversation with myself, one where I could express everything without fear of judgment. That's when the magic began. Patterns emerged in my thoughts and behaviors. Some of my worries turned out to be about things entirely beyond my control, while others highlighted areas where I could take meaningful action. One night, I wrote about an exceptionally stressful day at work. Breaking down the stress on paper, identifying the triggers, describing how I felt, and brainstorming what I could do differently gave me a sense of clarity and control. This simple act of reflection helped me process my emotions and approach challenges with a clearer mind. Journaling also became a tool for tracking progress. I noted small victories and milestones, no matter how insignificant they seemed at the time. Looking back at these entries filled me with a sense of accomplishment and motivation. For instance, I documented my preparation for a presentation that had initially made me nervous. Seeing my preparation steps and the eventual success written in my journal was a powerful reminder of my resilience. One of the most impactful additions to my journaling practice was a daily gratitude section. Every night, I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. This shifted my mindset from focusing on what was missing in my life to appreciating what I already had. One particularly memorable entry involved a stranger who helped me carry my grocery bags when I was struggling. Writing about that act of kindness deepened my gratitude and inspired me to pay it forward. Journaling became my safe space, a therapeutic practice where I could be entirely honest with myself. It provided a way to untangle the web of emotions, thoughts, and challenges we all carry. Over time, I gained deeper insights into my desires, fears, strengths, and weaknesses. It wasn't about writing perfectly or having profound revelations every day. It was about creating a consistent habit of reflection. Even when my thoughts felt jumbled, the process of writing brought clarity and peace. For anyone hesitant to try journaling, the key is to start small and remove any pressure. Dedicate 5 to 10 minutes a day to jotting down whatever comes to mind. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. Whether it's a stream of consciousness, a recap of your day, or reflections on specific events, journaling is about the act of writing itself. Over time, it becomes a powerful tool for self-discovery and emotional balance. Mindful eating. The second habit that profoundly changed my life was mindful eating. Like many, I used to eat in a rush, barely paying attention to my food or how much I was consuming. Meals often happened while scrolling through my phone, working on my laptop, or watching TV. I didn't realize how much this distracted eating was affecting my overall well-being until I decided to give mindful eating a dedicated week of focus. Mindful eating involves paying full attention to the experience of eating, from the flavors and textures to the sensations in your body. It's about savoring each bite and being present in the moment. To start, I made a commitment to eat all my meals mindfully for 1 week. I cleared my dining table, set a pleasant and uncluttered place for myself, and removed distractions, no phone, TV, or laptop. At first, it felt strange to sit quietly with my meal. However, the practice quickly became a calming ritual. Before eating, I took a few deep breaths to center myself and bring my focus to the present moment. This small step helped me transition from the busyness of the day into a state of awareness and gratitude. One of the first things I noticed was how much more I enjoyed my food. Without distractions, I could fully appreciate the flavors, textures, and even the sounds of my meals. Foods I had eaten countless times before suddenly felt new and exciting. For example, the crunch of fresh vegetables and the natural sweetness of ripe fruit became more pronounced. It was as though I was experiencing food in high definition. Another major shift was how satisfied I felt after eating. By slowing down and eating mindfully, I gave my body enough time to signal when it was full. This was a significant change from my previous habit of eating quickly and often overeating. Tuning into my hunger and fullness cues allowed me to eat less while feeling more nourished. A particularly memorable moment was with a simple bowl of oatmeal. Normally, I would eat it quickly without much thought. This time, I took it slow, savoring the creamy texture and the subtle sweetness of honey drizzled on top. What would have been an ordinary breakfast became an intentional moment of mindfulness and gratitude. It set a positive tone for the rest of my day. Mindful eating also heightened my awareness of how different foods affected my body. Heavy processed foods left me feeling sluggish and bloated, while fresh whole foods gave me energy and made me feel light. This newfound awareness naturally led to healthier food choices, not out of restriction or guilt, but because I genuinely wanted to feel better. One of the most powerful aspects of mindful eating was recognizing the emotional connections I had with food. I started noticing patterns, eating out of boredom, stress, or emotional comfort rather than true hunger. Becoming aware of these triggers helped me address the underlying emotions in healthier ways. Instead of mindlessly snacking, I began asking myself what I really needed, whether it was a break, a walk, or simply a moment to breathe. Mindful eating transformed my relationship with food. What used to feel like a rushed necessity became an intentional and nourishing experience. It helped me reconnect with my body, appreciate my meals, and make conscious choices that aligned with my overall well-being. Journaling and mindful eating, though simple in practice, have had a profound impact on my life. Journaling offered a safe space to reflect, process emotions, and track progress, while mindful eating allowed me to reconnect with food and my body. Both habits fostered mindfulness, gratitude, and intentionality, bringing clarity and balance to my daily routine. Through consistent practice, these habits have become integral to my personal growth journey, proving that small changes can create lasting transformation. As in a world filled with constant distractions and endless responsibilities, making time for self-improvement often feels overwhelming. Yet, small, intentional changes can lead to remarkable transformations. Over the course of 1 week, I adopted 7 habits that helped me reconnect with myself, improve my well-being, and create a more balanced life. These habits aren't about perfection, but about progress. Simple steps anyone can take to live with greater intention. 2 of the most impactful habits from this journey were mindful eating and limiting screen time. Mindful eating. For much of my life, eating was a rushed and distracted experience. Meals were often consumed while scrolling through my phone, working, or watching TV. I rarely paused to appreciate my food or consider how it made me feel. This lack of awareness left me disconnected from the nourishment food provides, and I often found myself overeating or reaching for snacks out of habit rather than hunger. 1 week of mindful eating completely transformed my relationship with food. Mindful eating is about being fully present during meals, focusing on the flavors, textures, and sensations of food, while also tuning into your body's hunger and fullness cues. To begin, I committed to eating all my meals without distractions. I set up a peaceful dining space, free from screens and other interruptions, and began each meal with a few deep breaths to center myself. The first thing I noticed was how much more enjoyable food became. Without distractions, I could savor each bite, truly experiencing the complexity of flavors and textures. Foods I had eaten countless times suddenly felt new and exciting. For example, the crunch of fresh vegetables and the sweetness of ripe fruit became vivid, as though I were tasting them for the first time. Even a simple bowl of oatmeal turned into a sensory experience. The creamy texture, the warmth of cinnamon, and the subtle sweetness of honey made it feel comforting and indulgent. Another benefit was feeling more satisfied after meals. By eating slowly and mindfully, I allowed my body enough time to signal when it was full. This was a dramatic shift from my previous habit of overeating because I rushed through meals. Paying attention to hunger and fullness cues naturally reduced the amount of food I consumed while leaving me feeling more nourished. One evening, I experienced a craving for something sweet after dinner. Normally, I would have automatically reached for dessert without thinking. Instead, I paused and asked myself if I was genuinely hungry or just seeking comfort after a long day. I realized I wasn't truly hungry and chose a warm cup of herbal tea instead. This small decision felt empowering and highlighted how mindfulness could help me make choices aligned with my needs rather than fleeting impulses. Mindful eating also helped me uncover emotional connections to food. I noticed that I often reached for snacks out of boredom, stress, or as a reward rather than hunger. Recognizing these patterns allowed me to address the underlying emotions directly. Sometimes, what I really needed was a break, a moment of relaxation, or a conversation with a friend, not a bag of chips. This awareness led to healthier habits and a more balanced approach to eating. Over time, mindful eating improved not only my relationship with food, but also my overall well-being. My digestion improved, I felt more energized, and I developed a deeper appreciation for the nourishment food provides. If you're interested in trying mindful eating, start with just one meal a day. Sit down in a calm environment, free of distractions, and take a few deep breaths before beginning. Savor each bite, paying attention to the flavors, textures, and how the food makes you feel. You may be surprised at how this simple practice can enhance your eating experience and help you reconnect with your body. Limiting screen time. Another transformative habit I adopted was limiting screen time. Like many people, I spent hours every day scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, and checking emails. While this felt like a normal part of modern life, it was taking a toll on my mental health, productivity, and sleep. I decided to set boundaries and see what would happen if I consciously reduced my screen usage. The first step was setting a daily limit of 1 hour for non-work-related screen time. This meant no mindless scrolling through Instagram, no endless YouTube marathons, and no late-night TV binges. Initially, this change felt challenging. Screens had become a default way to fill spare moments, and breaking the habit required effort. However, the benefits quickly became clear. The most noticeable change was how much more time I had in my day. Without hours disappearing into digital distractions, I found myself rediscovering hobbies and interests I had neglected. I picked up a book I'd been meaning to read, started doodling and drawing again, and even experimented with cooking new recipes. These activities brought a sense of joy and fulfillment that scrolling through social media never could. Instead of watching TV after dinner, I began taking evening walks in the park. The fresh air, the sounds of nature, and the simple act of moving my body felt rejuvenating. These walks became a cherished part of my routine, something I looked forward to and deeply enjoyed. The contrast between the vitality I felt after these walks and the lethargy that often followed screen time was striking. Limiting screen time also had a profound impact on my sleep. I used to take my phone to bed, scrolling through social media or watching videos until I felt tired. However, this habit often left me feeling wired and restless, making it difficult to fall asleep. By removing screens from my bedtime routine, I found it much easier to wind down. I replaced screen time with relaxing activities like reading a physical book, meditating, or simply reflecting on my day. This change led to deeper, more restful sleep and significantly improved my energy levels. Another benefit was the positive effect on my mental health. Without the constant barrage of news updates, social media comparisons, and digital distractions, I felt less anxious and more present. I became more focused during conversations, more attentive to the people around me, and more engaged in my daily activities. It was as though a fog had lifted, allowing me to see and experience life more clearly. One particularly memorable day, I spent an entire afternoon at a local cafe with just a notebook and a pen. Free from digital interruptions, I wrote down my thoughts, planned goals, and even sketched a bit. It was a peaceful and productive time that left me feeling more connected to myself and my surroundings than any screen ever had. Of course, there were moments of temptation. At times, I found myself reaching for my phone out of habit. In these moments, I gently reminded myself of the benefits I was experiencing and redirected my attention to something more fulfilling. Over time, this practice became easier, and the urge to mindlessly scroll diminished. Limiting screen time isn't about completely eliminating technology from your life. It's about creating a healthier balance and being more intentional with your time. If you feel overwhelmed or disconnected, consider setting some screen time boundaries. Start small, perhaps by reducing your usage by an hour each day, and gradually increase it. Use the extra time to reconnect with yourself, your loved ones, and the world around you. You may be surprised by how much richer and more fulfilling life can be when you step away from the screens and engage with the real world. Building a more intentional life. Mindful eating and limiting screen time are just 2 of the 7 habits that transformed my life in 1 week. These practices helped me reconnect with myself, find balance, and appreciate the simple joys of everyday life. The changes weren't always easy, but they were incredibly rewarding. By embracing these habits, I discovered the power of small, intentional actions to create meaningful and lasting transformation. Now, thank you for watching, and if you found these insights helpful, consider liking this post, subscribing for more content, and sharing it with friends or family who might benefit from these habits. Sometimes, a small nudge is all someone needs to begin their own journey of transformation. Let's continue to grow, evolve, and make every day an opportunity for self-improvement. Remember, small changes lead to big results. Thank you for being part of this journey, and I look forward to hearing about the incredible ways you're shaping your life. Stay awesome, and I'll see you next time.